Okay, so I think we are on the air. So my name is Heather Clark, and I'm here with my great friend Jackie, and here to talk about essential oils and our love of essential oils.
And I am Jackie, and thrilled to be here. Want to welcome everybody to our first hangout that we're doing, and we're just here to share our experiences and our stories with Young Living essential oils and the changes that they've made in our lives. And we want to let everybody know how they work and how you can get them.
Great. Well, I'm excited too, Jackie. This is really fun. Just a little bit about myself. Um, I started using Young Living oils only about 6 months ago. And I was having some pretty big issues around my adrenal glands. I had some pretty major adrenal fatigue, and I've never really been great at going to the doctor for things. I really like to be able to find natural remedies, so I started Googling as much as I could to see if I could find something so that I would not have to take a prescription from my doctor, which I knew would be antidepressants, or I didn't know what it was going to be, but I knew it wasn't going to fulfill what my needs. So I started Googling, and I ended up sort of finding something about oils, and I remembered my friend Jackie had some interesting posts at times about essential oils. So that's when I contacted her, and I was able to find a particular oil that might work well for what I was dealing with. And Jackie, was really great at suggesting that she could definitely get me that oil, and suggesting that I would order the kit, and that way I would get a bunch of oils, and I would get the diffuser, and I would really get to experience Young Living and all their products. And obviously that wasn't my purpose at the beginning. I just wanted to find this one particular oil that was going to, help me get through at this stage of my life what I needed. And what happened was my oils arrived, and I remember smelling the very first oil that I opened up. And I remember just having this memory of my sister who had been using Young Living oils for 20 years. And I smelt this one oil, and it brought me back to the time when I used to go to her house, and I was stressed, and I had neck issues, and I remember her rubbing these oils in my neck. And so there was just something at that moment that I knew that these were going to be more than just an adrenal fatigue fix-it for me. And so I started on my way with rubbing my oils on my adrenals and on my feet, and playing with the oils and smelling them. And then I started really looking into some other things that I could do with the oils that were in the kit. And my husband was a chronic headache man. He's had headaches his whole entire life. He was born with sinus infections. So he, every day, at least 3 or 4 times a day, was popping Advil constantly on a constant basis. And I thought, I wonder if I could maybe have a look at some of the oils that are in this kit and see what we could do about maybe, you know, changing the way he deals with his headaches. And he went along with it. Lucky for me, there was only a couple of Advil left in the bottle, and so I just said to him, "Would you be willing to do a little trial here with me?" And he was all for it, and we started using a few of the different oils, and before I knew it, his headaches were sometimes gone in minutes or seconds from the time he would put the oils on himself. And these were just the oils that were in the regular everyday kit that you purchase when you join up with Young Living. So from then on, I was using different oils for everything from making sprays so that my husband's hockey gear didn't smell so bad, and it was also killing the germs and bacteria, to making flea sprays so that my animals wouldn't bring fleas in my house, to even just for me using the peace and calming oil that would, when I was going out and I knew that I was going to be dealing with something somewhat stressful, that I could have this oil that not only smelled amazing, but really made me calm and just calmed my nerves and really made me feel safe and taken care of. And I had used years before had used other essential oils from the grocery store, but these oils, for example, the Peace and Calming, I found that it wasn't like the other oils because there was more to it than just smelling it and being calm. I felt a calmness inside me, and I also found that the oils lasted such a long time when you use them for like a perfume type thing. So I could go out and hours later could still smell my wrist, and I could still smell a little bit of that Peace and Calming, and it would just, calm me down. And so from starting out with one particular oil that I needed with my adrenal fatigue, which, by the way, my doctor had said that it would be about 6 to 9 months before I would heal my adrenal fatigue. Within 1 month, I was back to where I was before. I had gone from I couldn't even barely get out of bed or walk from my bedroom to my bathroom, to, I was walking in the forest within 1 month of using these oils. And I was changing things that were happening in my house, and we were using oils so, to prevent things and to help things and to put on a cold sore. And so it just filled my heart, and it was just changing the way I was looking at all this stuff. I didn't have to go into my medication cupboard anymore. I had this cute little package of oils that smelled amazing and made me feel great, and I was helping my family. So I just feel so happy that now I can share what I have with other women and other families, and I have this vision of seeing small children coming to their moms and saying, "Mom, I have a headache," and mom putting a little dab of peppermint oil on them as opposed to Tylenol, or the baby's got a fever, and not using strong medications and being able to use one drop of an essential oil. And so to me, that just fills my heart, and it makes me really want to be here in a place where you and I, Jackie, can share our stories with other women, and they can join us on these hangouts, and they can share what's happening for them. Because for a lot of people with these oils, I'm finding different things are working for all of us a little bit differently. So I just feel incredibly blessed that these oils have come to me, and my life has never been better since I've started them. And it's only been 6 months, so I can't wait to see where it goes from here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. I love your story, Heather, especially when
Thanks.
I'm part of it. My story's a little bit different. Um, I've been using Young Living oils for almost 2 years now, and I have always been interested in essential oils, and I always purchased. There's a couple companies local here, Sage. I always purchase their essential oils. I always even bought the ones like at the Body Shop and that type of thing, because I liked all the different blends and scents, and I would diffuse them in my house. Um, but there is a real difference between the Young Living oils and the experience that I've had with them and all of these other things that were great at the time, and they did have some nice aromas, and certain ones I would burn, like when my family was around. That was like, I think one was actually called Harmony at that time, or Harmony Feelings or something, and everybody seemed to get along so much better when that happened. But anyways, that's getting off topic with the Young Living. With my experience and how I found Young Living was 2 years ago I had surgery, and when I was getting ready for the surgery, I hadn't even really thought of what was going to happen to my body after the surgery. But one of the things that this book that I had and getting ready for it was saying was to make a decision of how you wanted to treat your scar after the operation. And so there's a lot of different scar um, salves and things that you can get that are medicated or that have chemicals or other substances to them. And one of the last things that they mentioned on the list was, or if you want to be all natural, you could get yourself 100% therapeutic lavender oil and use that on your scar to treat it. And they were basically saying, if you were to do this and keep your scar out of the sun for a year, then it will almost totally disappear after a year, or as time goes by. So that's where my interest and my research started with essential oils. And I kept looking for 100% therapeutic grade lavender oil. And this one woman's blog kept coming up time and time again. And that was Carrie, who both Heather and I are associated with through Young Living. But she just had tons of information that was out there. And every time I would do any kind of search, she would inevitably be the first resource that would pop up. So I looked at it and I thought, okay, and kind of looked at the company, and it was based in Utah and, American, and she was like in Florida herself. And I just kind of thought, that's really nice, and this sounds like exactly the oil that I want, exactly what I should have. But hey, I should try to find something local, like something here to use, right? So I started trying to find something like in BC or, anywhere around here. And there was a few that came up, but they really didn't have everything. Like they didn't have anything else other than whatever the case was. And some of them, they didn't even have straight lavender oil. It was a blend, or and I'm sure they're very good as well. But anyways, long story short, the first bottle of lavender oil that I got, I just thought, I'm just going to go to the health food store here and get something that is produced locally and use that. And so I got a bottle there and I started using it, and still there was just something. I kept researching, still trying to find something local too. And Carrie's site just came up over and over again, or Young Living, everything was Young Living, Young Living. So then I started reading about their seed to seal policy, which is basically how they harvest um, all of the plants and how they make the oil and what it actually takes to make a bottle of essential oils. Like it's just quite incredible how many plants are in one of these little bottles and how it's pure of everything that's going in here. Like that's all you're getting. It's exactly the oil that's on the label. You're not getting any chemicals. You're not getting anything other than this. And all of a sudden something was just resonating with me that, let's give myself a fair chance and let's get the purest, let's get the 100% therapeutic, and let's just see if there's a difference. So here I finally make this decision, and I go on Carrie's site and I go to make my order. And I read, lo and behold, that there's more than one way that you can buy these oils. I could go in and I could buy them retail, or I could become a wholesale member and I could get 24% off all the oils that I buy. But it was quite amusing because they kind of referred to it as a Costco membership, but as having a membership in anything, there was the fee for getting involved, and that was buying the Everyday Oil kit. And at that time, it didn't come with all the bells and whistles that it comes with now, which is even a better value. But by making this purchase where you got Everyday Oils, you would then get 24% off of any other oils that you bought through the company. So me being the bargain hunter that I am, and the person who likes to save as much money as I can, my husband laughs because I always tell him how much money I save, and then he says, yes, but how much did you spend? That's beside the point. You want to get that discount, I thought, I'm going to just buy the Everyday Oil kit because, to be perfectly honest with you, there's always been some kind of draw in my body my whole life to essential oils. Mm-hmm. And, wherever it came from, for these past 2 years, what I've experienced with Young Living, it's been bang on. Like there's just been so many positive shifts, positive ways of dealing with, be it pain, be it emotional things, be it just wanting to feel nice and have a nice smelly bath, anything like that. It's just, it's really enhanced my life anyway over the last 2 years. So that was how I got involved. And the ironic part with it, because I had used probably 2 bottles, it was probably almost 2 bottles of lavender oil from the health food store with my scar treatment. When I got the Young Living lavender, it smelt different, it looked different, and when I put it on my scar, a couple times when I had put on the other lavender oil, it had kind of trickled down a little bit, into other parts of my body, and it almost hurt sometimes. And I thought, this is kind of weird. And when I did the Young Living oils, there was no sensation at all other than smooth, soothing, basically. I mean, it was just, I just can just attest to that there was a significant difference in the oil itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so that's how it all started for me. And then from there, of course, when I first got everything, I needed to try it all out. And you'll find too, if you do ever order the kit, there's so much information out there that you can get on how to use the oils. So I was just using them all the time. I mean, I got back to running once I was better with my surgery, and I would use peppermint, and I would put it on my feet, and I would put it on my hands. And when I would be halfway through my run and feeling kind of tired, I would just inhale in my hands, and I would get more energy. So it was just kind of little things like that, little ways to use it that gave very positive results, like very simply, quickly. And it kind of made me, really look at these oils with a little more seriousness to them, like a little more like these can really enhance my life. And I use so many of them every day, and we'll get into the details of each one as our Lunch and Learns go on, because you could spend a whole half hour talking about each oil and just what good things that it's done for you. But yeah, my first draw and my first experience with Young Living was with the lavender oil, and it was strictly purchased to heal scars, and it's a miracle oil. It is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's quite amazing how we all have our story, that we're drawn to these oils for one particular reason, and then when we get the kit, it all opens up this whole new world for us.
Yeah.
It's just so amazing for me to, most of us were born and, into a family where if you have a headache, you go get a Tylenol. And so I find even now there are moments where I think, oh, I've got a bit of a headache, and I go and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't have any of that anymore because I've thrown it all out, for one. And number two, I don't need to do that, but it's like this habit.
Yes.
And now anytime someone gets a little cut or has a headache or an issue, I have to kind of stop myself from the old training ways of getting drugs and going, I've got something that I can do for this that's going to make me feel really great and really feel good about not putting stuff, into my liver that's, all this stuff, which I think is another reason why we love, this kit and where it's got us and how it's helped our families, not just us.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, just one other little thing about it is that because it is intentional, because when you use the oils, you're actually knowing, say you have a headache, so you're knowing, okay, I'm going to apply peppermint or Panaway or something on my temples, on the back of my neck, and you're just taking, even if it's like 1 minute of time, you're taking that 1 minute and you're thinking only of yourself, and it's your self-care that you're doing. So it's not only the healing energies that are in the oils, but it's your intention of how you're using those oils on your body that just make all the difference.
Yeah, and what a difference between that and walking to the cupboard and getting an Advil, where there's no intention on that or anything. Yeah, it's just popping a pill, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the only pills I take are vitamins, and actually I take them with my water that has essential oils in it. So I'm still getting my essential oils even when I'm taking something else, right?
I know that's what I have to get better at, is putting it in my water, because that's so simple, right?
Yeah, yeah. I just got the grapefruit oil, and it's delicious in water. So I don't know if you have that one, but a drop of that in my water every day, and it's delicious. Yeah. So this is great, Jackie. I think that our sort of intention really is to share our stories and share our oils, and maybe start talking about individually some of the oils that come in the kit and what are some of the things that we can help with in our lives, or that has helped with us, and share a little bit about the kit and about our lives, and just I think Lunch and Learn says it all. Just we all have busy lives, and this is great. I'm dog sitting. No, it's not my dog, so I don't know how to stop it from barking.
Okay, girls, your time's up.
That's right. I think that means your time's up. See you guys next week, maybe, and we'll try and do another lunch and learn, and maybe we can take one of the oils and the kits and see what we can talk about.
Sounds great.
Mhm.
Thank
Okay. See you next time.
you.
Bye.